Vienna did not begin as an imperial vision. It began as a city folded inward, long before the grand boulevards, before the palaces, before the empire learned to display itself. Vienna was a place shaped by caution. By the early 18th century, the city still lived within its medieval walls. Stone fortifications pressed tightly around daily life, not as symbols of pride, but as necessities. The streets inside were narrow and uneven. Buildings leaned toward one another, as if sharing warmth. Light struggled to reach the ground. This was a city built for survival, not spectacle. Every morning followed a familiar rhythm. Shutters creaked open. Merchants prepared their stalls. The sound of footsteps echoed off stone, worn smooth by centuries. Nothing here was designed to impress the world. Vienna was not yet looking outward. It was watching its borders. The walls told the story of fear remembered. Ottoman sieges were not distant history. They were living memory. The scars remained in stone and habit. Guard towers watched the horizon. Gates controlled movement. Beyond them, the land stretched open and quiet. Fields, paths, silence. Inside the walls, space was limited. As the population grew, the city adapted inward. Homes were divided. Rooms became smaller. Families lived closer. Privacy faded. Community intensified. Workshops filled courtyards. Trades spilled into the streets. The city breathed tightly. Vienna was changing, even if it did not yet look different. Power was consolidating. The Habsburg court, already influential, began to exert a quieter form of control. Administration expanded. Bureaucracy settled into the city's bones. Vienna was becoming more than a defended settlement. It was becoming a center. Monasteries, civic buildings, and modest palaces appeared within the old fabric. They did not dominate the skyline. They blended into it. Nothing was grand yet, but everything was intentional. The old city absorbed these changes without resistance. It had done so for centuries, but the walls remained. What once protected Vienna now confined it. Trade increased. Movement intensified. The city's importance grew faster than its boundaries. Beyond the fortifications, land waited. Fields that once served as buffers against invasion now stood in the way of growth. Plans were drawn quietly. Measurements taken. Surveys conducted. The future was being imagined before it was ever built. This transformation would not arrive as destruction. There would be no single moment of collapse, no dramatic fall. The medieval city would dissolve gradually. Streets would extend. Neighborhoods would shift. Old paths would disappear beneath new intentions. Vienna would expand outward, not because it wanted to forget its past, but because it could no longer contain it. The empire would come later, the monuments, the grandeur. But before all of that, there was this city. Compact, cautious, human in scale. A Vienna that still remembered fear. More than ambition, this is Vienna. Before imperial expansion. Before the city learned to spread itself across history.